Okay, so in this video, I don't have a whole lot of information on this topic, but I just feel like saying whatever I'm gonna say. So, Nick, not Nick, excuse me, I'm gonna get right here. Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, Megan's newly released homegirl, and Kylie Jenner. Those are the characters in this story here. I don't know where Kylie comes in. I just know that she was hanging out with them, those three, the night before, I believe it is. All of this nonsense went down, but basically there's footage going around of the cops basically appearing to arrest Tory Lanez and the initial contact that they made with Megan Thee Stallion. And you see this overhead view of their SUV, and you know, basically you can see Megan kind of hobbling around as she's being given her orders to get out the car and all that good stuff. You know how they do. And her foot was bleeding pretty good too. Like every time she put her foot down and she was hobbling, it was blood. So she's come out since and has made a statement on IG. Looked pretty legal in terms of how it was structured. The way she was basically saying was, she was a victim. Someone's malicious intentions. Those were the type of words that were used. Basically, you know, she was not arrested. She was actually driven to the hospital by the police, dropped off there as a free woman. So she's positioning herself for the case that's coming. The word is Tory Lanez. I guess her and Tory Lanez have gotten into some sort of argument in the SUV. It's been alleged that she pulled out some type of blade, something sharp, and he pulled out a gun. And I guess she was gonna try to get out the car, and he shot at her foot. Shot her twice in the foot. That's what's being alleged. The gun was discharged, and she was hit twice. I'm gonna tell y'all what I thought. This is just my own intuition. When I saw Megan Thee Stallion's homegirl's picture on IG, it was a picture of her and the girl that just got out, and she had said her friend that just got out. You know, my brand new homegirl, she's out. And I was thinking, I don't know how long homegirl's has been in, but I know for a fact, if she's been in there for longer than a year, Megan's life has changed dramatically. Absolutely and utterly dramatically. And she's officially in what we call a whirlwind here in Hollywood. It's the whirlwind of fame when it's still fairly new, but you're really revving up in your clout, more or less. You're getting all this attention. You're surrounded by A-listers and B-listers. You're doing the Hollywood thing. You're out on the town and all of that. You're riding around in cars with people like Tory Lanez. Like, that's the life that she's living. And something told me, and I've seen this movie before, when the friend gets out of jail and life has changed dramatically for the best friend who's been outside. Money is coming, all this fame, and the whirlwind is coming. And usually the person who's trying to welcome the person who's been out in jail, that famous friend, is overcompensating a lot of times, trying to show that friend that she's still, or in some cases if it's a male, he's still that person that they were when they was close before all the fame in the whirlwind. There's like an exaggeration of energy that tends to come from that person a lot of times, trying to show that person around and give them a feel for the life and catch them up on all that they've missed. That's just a standard way that kind of plays out each and every time almost. So when I saw Megan going through this, I'm like, yeah. And you couple that with the fact that she lost her mom, what was it now, probably 8 months ago? And I thought about how I was 8 months after my mom died. Completely out of my mind. Still grieving, but not really understanding that I was still grieving, that kind of shit. All of that is just a perfect storm for a lot to go wrong. And I said it right then and there. As soon as I saw that picture on IG, I'm like, oh, huh, some, something's probably going to happen. Something is going to happen. And when you mix these chemicals, so to speak, circumstance, fame, liquor, alcohol, drugs, whatever. And then you look at Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, on the other hand, if I'm analyzing what I've seen from Tory Lanez has been in this game for a long time, but has never gotten the accolades that he's been getting over the last 6 months. So this is somebody who, even though he's been in this business, the type of whirlwind that he finds himself in now is an entirely different level than anything he's ever experienced before, and that's due to his IG show that he took off during the real quarantine era. It was just a complete and utter success, and I think that's one of the reasons why he has women like Meg Thee Stallion, around him, because of that type of success. That's not the success that he had when he was beefing with Drake several years back, or when the Chicks Tape series was starting to gain momentum. This is an entirely different level of fame for Tory. And I also know, in watching his show on IG, that he's highly, highly tolerant. He has a good, strong tolerance for liquor and weed. He can drink and drink and drink and still hold down his show smooth. Even stumble drunk, he's still sharp. So that tells me he's a highly functional drinker, or dare I say alcoholic, if that's what he's dealing with. And you couple that with the fact that she's a superstar and that the homegirl just got out, that they riding together, chances are he was acting a certain way because Megan was probably acting a certain way because this girl was present. It was that kind of shit going on. I can pinpoint that. That's probably how that went down. If I'm speculating even further, maybe he wanted something to go down with both of them. Maybe that wasn't going down. Maybe it could have been a number of things, obviously. But if you want to speculate to how these certain things come about, people are drunk. People are probably inebriated off of something chemical based, and talking real loud, riding around, and that's how it probably went down. And they said that it was said that Megan was getting out of the car, and as she was getting out of the car, he fired the shots. Of course, he's locked up, so you ain't heard his side of the story at all, so we don't know what his position is. But Megan's bodyguard has come out and said a few things. He basically said, more or less, he's away, and people who know them know why he wasn't present that day, but he's there now, and that he's going to be making sure that she's 24/7 surrounded by people who won't be shooting at the floor. So, and then I don't know if it was the same guy or maybe someone else in her camp also came out and said, and later deleted a tweet that said, "Count your days, Tory." So needless to say, people, the men close to Megan Thee Stallion are highly, highly pissed off at how this played out, and it lends itself to the understanding that Tory Lanez did this on purpose, and definitely wouldn't have did it if the bodyguards were around. So whatever transpired in that SUV, it's been alleged that they have video footage of the weapon being discharged, so they saw all this, and they're not going to release the footage to not compromise the case, which is completely understandable. So, as I've analyzed Tory, I've analyzed the girl friend and the friend of Megan, and how that dynamic could make things wild. The whirlwind Megan's in, the liquor is probably present. It's just a bad situation. As I have lived in my life the way that I have, it feels like the worst mistakes I probably made, probably in my mid-20s, about the age that Megan is right now. And those are the times when you're not a kid anymore, so you go out into the real world with all your confidence, and you're still influenced by your friends, you're still influenced by stupid stuff, petty conversations are so meaningful to you, stuff that doesn't make much sense, you still are trying to figure out. It's a lot of that confusion going on. You're still somewhat of a child, and you couple that with all that I've said, including grief, deep grief that you don't properly mourn, which I know she hasn't because she's been on the road the whole time. She's been moving, just like Kanye did. It's something that's bad for the mental health. You have to sit down after you lose your mom. All of us do. It's something that I've learned in my life, and it's something that I keep seeing in other people's lives as well. If you don't take time to mourn the loss of a parent, especially someone that's close to you, like a close parent, your relationship is tight with that parent, you need to sit down. You need to take some time away from whatever your normal activities are and go somewhere and get your head right. If that means crying it out, if that means doing some things differently, taking a vacation, a good lengthy one, getting some help psychologically is probably a great decision when something like that happens. All of that needs to be organically healed from, or else you're going to walk yourself into some bad situations. It's just what I've seen. And so Megan's situation is no different. It's just yet another example of that. But I hope that she's okay. First of all, I hope that she's learned her lesson, that she said to protect her energy and continue to keep people around her that will hold her down and keep her safe. And of course, the good old don't bring a knife to a gunfight. If that's indeed how that went down, come on, let's not. I know a lot of people making fun of Tory Lanez's height and weight, but I'm gonna tell you guys the God's honest truth. This ain't specific to Tory Lanez at all. If you're 5'3", 120 pounds, I will not pick you to beat Meg the Stallion in a fist fight. I'm not. I'm just not. And I know that sounds ridiculous to some, but Meg is different. She's different. She's a physical person. You can see that in her legs and how she could squat for hours and do this every day. And she's got really special genetics. And you know, she's probably going to have her way with a much smaller man. Like, he would need something to help protect him from her, if I'm being completely and utterly honest. If it got physical. So, yeah, I'm not going to say I can see why he pulled out a gun, but I can definitely see why her pulling out a blade would make him feel like he should. So, whatever the case, I think it's highly disappointing, especially for Tory, particularly because of all the success that he is getting, because of how close he is to being the star that he also ultimately wants to be, because of how talented and well versed he is in music. He can give you a lot of different styles. He's super talented when it comes to his IG show. It's one of the best things I've ever seen on IG. And he threw it all away. Now he has a felony on top of whatever other legal issues that are floating around out there with him, which are some. There are some. So it's very unfortunate that he's going to have to go sit down for a little bit. And his image probably not going to ever be the same. Not that he was known for something like the greatest image, but we're talking about somebody who's at the peak of their fame and enjoying some of the best success that they've ever had. So to throw it away on something so very immature, so very preventable, and so utterly just stupid. Whatever the hell happened there was stupid as hell. I can tell you that much, and should not have taken place. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Don't have nothing else to share. More information will come out, then we'll really know what happened, and I can weigh it against my theories here. But at the end of the day, these are just some young 20-something-year-old people doing some very ignorant, stupid shit. That's what I see here. Nothing new. Tory, I think, might be in his 30s, actually. Either way, same difference. Age doesn't necessarily mean that you've grown up. It just means that you've lived long enough to be expected to have grown up. Doesn't mean that you did. Anyway, my name is BDF44. Thanks for watching. I'm out.